Hi, it's time for another stroll down the Hall of Champions. Last time we talked about Toad Lee Perhart. You remember the 3 words for which his name stands? How about the other critters we've read about? Do you remember their names and what was special about them? Oh, Willikers has a dandy tale for you this time. This story is about a mako shark named Peaz Maukker. Peaz migrated with his family from the Baltic Sea to a real tough part of Barracudaville off the coast of Southern California. There, the waters were calm and warm, unlike the Maukker family. Peaz's dad could be pretty mean. Trub L. Maukker lived up to his name. He would storm about the house screaming at his wife, Home Maukker, in front of the kids. Their house was not a very peaceful place.
I hate my stinking job. I hate my boss. He's always yelling at me. I can't yell back because I might get fired. So I yell at home. And if you don't like it, you can lump it.
Hi, Dad.
Peaz said pleasantly.
Tough day at work, huh?
I've got a pansy for a son. What a wimp. Why aren't you out kicking some tail? When I was your age, I could hardly wait to thrash some deep-sea bass.
I'm not like you, Dad. That's not my style. Why do you always want to fight?
'Cause mako sharks are mean. It's just the way we are. Anyway, fighting is fun.
Not for me, Dad. I'd rather get along with everyone.
You'll never survive thinking that way, son. You gotta be tough. Like our neighbors, the hammerheads and shovel noses.
Aren't there kids in jail, Dad?
What do you know, anyhow? Hey, who's at the door? Why, it's your weenie best buddy, Billy, the gentle basking shark. Get out of here, both of you. I'm tired of looking at you.
Hi, Billy.
Peaz hurried his friend away. Billy didn't mention Peaz's surly dad, but said,
Let's cruise by the school playground and shoot some hoops. You're still hoping to get a scholarship to Huck Honeydews at Honeydew U.
Yeah, I'm still hoping my hoopin' will get me in.
Uh-oh, Peaz. There's George Greatreich, the biggest bully on the block.
Hey, there's Bobby Blue Shark. He's a really nice guy.
Peaz said,
I hope George doesn't spot him. What is it with the great whites? Why don't they like the blues? My dad doesn't like them either.
Hey, Peaz, look. It's your dad. Trub L's coming.
I was watching you at the window.
Peaz's father bellowed.
I've told you before, don't get chummy with the blues. I can't stand them. My grandpa hates them. My dad hates them. I hate them. And I expect you to hate them, too. I especially hate Birmingham B. Blue, and I don't want you getting friendly with his son. Understand?
But Dad, aren't all fish the same in the fishmaker's eyes?
Don't get religious on me, Peaz. Just stay away from the blues. I'll see you later.
I don't get it, Peaz.
Me neither, Billy. I'm glad Bobby Blue is in our class at school. I like him.
Me too. So why does George Greatwhite try to pick on him?
I don't know, but Bobby doesn't take it. That's why George ends up picking on Steve Stinkybottom.
Why poor Steve?
Billy asked.
Billy, I think George picks on Steve because he's the only non-shark in the neighborhood.
Yeah, and because Steve's a smelt.
I suppose. He is a bottom fish, and he doesn't smell too good. Have you noticed how much time he spends by himself? He must be lonely.
Peaz, it's not right to hate someone because of the kind of fish he is.
You're right, Billy. But try telling that to George Greatwhite.
Everyone knew that George Greatwhite would hang out in the restroom at school waiting to ambush Steve Stinkybottom and steal his lunch money. The schoolfish hated to go in there because of George and his friends. He was pretty chummy with the makos, and they made life tough on the other young sharks. Shark Elementary was a tough school. The bathroom wasn't safe, and neither was the playground. The makos and the whites would start fights with Bobby and the other blue sharks at recess, lunchtime, after school, any time the teachers weren't looking. You could always hear George and his buddies and Bobby and his friends yelling at each other until a full-fledged fight broke out.
Blues eat fish eggs!
Oh yeah? Well, you're a stinking whitefish and makos are minnow munchers.
After yelling a while, someone would throw a clam or oyster or scallop. Then, with fins flashing and teeth gnashing, the fighting would begin. Peaz, Maukker, and Billy Basking Shark wanted nothing more than to stop it somehow, but they didn't know where to begin.
Wow! Look at those guys, Billy. They're fighting again. Do you think there's anything we can do?
There's too many for us, Peaz. We might as well go huck honeydews in the gym.
Shark Elementary was the only school in town without a honeydew team. Hucking honeydew melons is the national sport in Pacifica, and Peaz was a pretty good honeydew hucker. Other schools hucked honeydews. The whales were big, but slow. The porpoises were fast and small. The orcas were both big and fast, and rough, too. But the sharks didn't have a team. Not having a team to play on was one of Peaz Maukker's biggest disappointments when he moved to Barracudaville. He dreamed of hucking honeydews for the team at Honeydew U, and if he practiced hard, maybe he would be good enough to play professionally someday for the Lakers. Peaz was a big fan and collected Fishalicious trading cards of pro hucksters. One day, Peaz, Maukker, and gentle Billy Basking Shark were looking through their cards and came across a retired player named Birmingham B. Blue. He had played for the Lakers and later coached at Fish U. Peaz was so excited he couldn't contain himself.
Billy, that's Bobby's dad.
Wow, dude! You mean Mr. Blue played for the Lakers?
Yeah, and he coached at Fish U. He's probably an old hobbled huckster by now, but maybe he could coach the Sharks. Let's go see him.
Birmingham B. Blue was happy to meet the young honeydew fans, even if one of them was a Mako. Peaz Maukker introduced himself and his friend Billy.
We wanted to ask you if you'd be willing to coach a honeydew team at Shark Elementary. I'm a small forward and I shoot pretty well. My friend Bill would be a great power forward. George Greywhite could be our center. He's big and tough. Your son Bobby would be a perfect point guard. He's lights out when he shoots. And Steve Smelt is quick. He'd be super with Bobby in the backcourt. We might be pretty good. Besides, if you coach the Sharks, maybe the playground would be a more peaceful place, and the neighborhood too. Maybe the Sharks would stop fighting all the time.
Mr. Blue thought for a moment and then said,
You've shown a lot of courage coming here, Peaz, and you're very convincing. Okay, I'll give it a try, but you'll have to get the guys together. I suggest you talk to George first. We need a big center to go up against the whales and the orcas. I think he's a good place to start. But be sure to tell him that I'm going to coach. He may not be too happy to hear that.
Okay, Mr. B. Come on, Billy.
It wasn't long before they found George. The great white was hard to miss.
Hey, George, wait up.
Peaz called.
What are you ding-dongs doing here?
Peaz said,
We're putting together a honeydew team, and we'd like you to be our center.
Oh yeah? You want me? I love to play.
and George frowned.
Who's gonna be on this team?
Peaz and me?
Billy spoke up.
Yeah? You and who else?
Well, Steve Smelt and Bobby Blue will play guard, and Bobby's dad will be our coach.
No way.
George protested.
I hate the Blues, but I don't like Smelt.
Peaz said,
George, did you know that Birmingham B. Blue played for the Lakers?
Really? No kidding. I didn't know.
Come on, George. It'll be great.
Well, I guess I'm willing to try and see if it works, but it probably won't.
At first, Trub L. Maukker forbid Peaz to play for the Sharks. He didn't want any Blue coaching his son. But Mr. Blue surprised Peaz's dad by asking him to help coach the team. Mr. Maukker didn't want anything to do with the team. But he didn't want to look bad, so he said,
Yeah, I suppose I could help out some. If a Blue can coach, I can too.
After getting to know each other, the two dads actually got along. Trub L. Maukker found that Birmingham B. Blue was a real good guy.
Birmingham, I sure was wrong about you.
Trub told his new friend.
I guess I learned some things along the way that maybe weren't right. You're okay. Maybe what the fishmaker says is true. No fish is better than any other fish.
I found that to be true often enough, Trub. Folks who don't like one another for the wrong reasons can end up being friends once they get to know each other. I'm glad we've become friends.
Things went pretty well after that, even for Steve Smelt. After winning their first game, the guys threw Steve in the shower at the gym and wouldn't let him out until he tried using soap. Everyone laughed, including Steve. Steve Smelt liked having friends. And bathing seemed like a small price to pay. Besides, Cindy Sand Shark and Terry Tiger Shark started talking to him in the hall at school. He really liked that. Bobby was a great passer and threw the ball to George a lot. George knew what to do with it and scored a bunch. After a game, George spoke to Bobby.
Well, thanks for dishing the rock to me, Bobby. I admit I was wrong about a lot of things, including what I said about blue sharks. You guys are all right.
The neighborhood was more peaceful, too. Getting the sharks off the streets and into the gym to huck honeydews and watch the games helped a lot. As assistant coach for the Sharks, Trub L. Maukker had something to take his mind off his troubles at work. As a result, he performed better on the job, and he stopped yelling so much at home. His wife sure liked that. He even apologized to her and to his son.
Will you forgive me? I'm so sorry for how I've behaved.
Old sharks can change. The sharks beat the whales and the porpoises, but the orcas were too much for them. Second place was a great start for a first-year team.
We'll beat the Orcas next year, George.
Yeah, Bobby, we'll get them next year. Give me a high fin.
Shark Elementary did so well in its first year of playing that Honeydew Hucksters Illustrated did a story on the team. George, Billy, Bobby, Steve, and Peaz, their star player, were on the cover. Inside was a photo with Birmingham B. Blue and Trub L. Maukker standing side by side, beaming with their fins around each other. Fish Week magazine did a feature on solving the shark problem. The whole ocean saw that makos, great whites, blues, indeed sharks of all kinds could get along. Peaz Maukker was declared a hero. He went to Fishington, D.C., where he received the Buy Bell's Peace Prize for bringing peace to his town. And he received the I. William Smell No More Award for what he did for Steve Smelt. Naturally, Fish University also honored Peaz Maukker. What do you think his word is? Peacemaker. A Peaz Maukker word. Peacemakers try to help troublemakers become friend makers. Guess who got the Uncle Ernie Award? Birmingham B. Blue, for being nice to someone who wasn't nice to him first. And who do you think got a scholarship to huck honeydews at Honeydew U? Why, sure, Peaz Maukker. No one deserved it more. Are you usually a troublemaker or a peacemaker? When is the last time you caused trouble? Can you think of ways to help bring peace between your friends at school or among your family at home? Why don't you talk about that for a while? Be sure and pray about the things you just talked about. Ask God to show you how to be a peacemaker. Oh, did you know that Oaf Willikers used to be a pretty fair honeydew hucker? I was. I even played on the Lakers with Birmingham B. Blue. But that was a long time ago.